Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock of the Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. We come to you on a week-to-week basis from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we look around the globe in 144 different nations, looking for those 1,000 best practices, the technology, services, and products that are making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And as we have a planet of 9 billion people by 2038 and possibly 12 to 13 billion by the end of this century, how are we going to be able to take care of all these people on planet Earth? And that's what Emerald Planet's all about. We come to you looking at the solutions, the best practices from around the globe as we create the Emerald Planet. Hello, welcome to the Emerald Planet. We're making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And seeing the long-term impacts of climate change. We're glad to have you. Thank you for being with us.
Looking at the world of Rotary. Rotary International covers the globe, 35,000 clubs, almost 1.4 million members, nearly 200 countries and territories. And we have what's called the Rotary Climate Action Team. This is something that's been evolving for a number of years. And the gentleman I'm getting ready to introduce, John G. Mathers, has been helping mightily with that. But also there's what's called the ESRAG, and I'm going to let him talk about that. He is the Chair for Environmental Sustainability, Rotary Action Group, ESRAG, and then also the coordinator for the RCATs that we have talked about. John, welcome to the Emerald Planet.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Tell us about the ESRAG and why that is so important, and why do you need that as a complementary and in collaboration with your RCATs?
Well, ESRAG is, and I'm the chair of our district, and there are a number of districts around the world. So it's a smaller area, but ESRAG is the Environmental Sustainability Rotary Action Group, is a group that was set up by Rotary to support the environment, to look at the big picture, to support global action and projects on a global basis, but also to be able to come up with projects that can be addressed at the club level. And it's been very successful and very powerful in changing the way Rotary looks at climate and looks at the environment, and actually has changed the focus of Rotary over the last few months, so that environment is one of the key ingredients in what we're focusing on now as Rotary.
Yeah, and that's the seventh focus area, and I think that's absolutely wonderful. And your Rotary Climate Action Team and teams, in the plural, are very important to that. But we're going to go through some areas that look at it globally as far as the environment is concerned. And of course, Rotary is global, and that's why there's a perfect fit. Tell us what we're looking at here, and then we're going to look at what this may be looking like today.
Well, you're looking at the person I'm named after. My middle name is Grinnell, and the gentleman on the left is George Bird Grinnell, who started the Audubon Society and set aside Glacier National Park. And he had a glacier named after him. And I went to see the glacier, and this is what it looks like now. It's gone, and that is a very sad affair.
I'm going back before between the two of these, John, and looking at this, which is your namesake, discovered and had this named after him, and to look at this today, I mean, we say this is beautiful, it's pristine. Why are we concerned about the environment? So the question is, John, why would your ancestor be concerned about what he's looking at right here?
Well, you have little over 1% of the water on the planet is fresh, and 3/4 of that is held in glaciers, or was held in glaciers. A good portion of it is polluted. A good portion of the groundwater is now disappearing. So not having the glaciers and not being able to capture the water in the glaciers and have it available is going to impact our planet substantially.
Looking at global temperatures, this is something that is of great concern to scientists, now more and more to citizens who are becoming aware of these negative impacts. But looking at this picturesque chart before us, there's a dire warning in this, correct?
Absolutely. I even have it on my business card.
Tell us a little bit about this. Why
Well,
is
this
this
is
such a dire situation?
Well, you have the average temperature. The average temperature over the last 10 years have been the hottest that have ever been recorded. That's over the last 10 years. And it looks like this year is going to be the hottest on record again. You can't sustain that. The planet is looking to create balance for itself. And part of that process is to eliminate those elements that aren't supportive of that balance. And one of those elements could actually be various species, including mankind.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Looking at this complex picture in front of us, tell us what we're seeing and how are each of these negative impacts as far as the quality of the environment and how this is affecting the life living of all beings on planet Earth, which are the plants, the biome, the microscopic beings, as well as humankind.
Well, I don't, I think we only have a few minutes. This is a 3-hour conversation, but permafrost, as an example, is now giving way and releasing methane. Methane is much more serious than carbon as a pollutant. Land transportation. If we're not using electric, we're missing the opportunity to be able to reduce the transportation carbon output. Industrial processing, chemicals, and putting pollutants into the air. Landfills that are now overwhelming, and you have a massive amount of plastic out in the ocean that is now killing off fish. On and on and on. There's a lot of issues. Let's put it that way.
And we just need to be dealing with it. I like this. This goes back. I've lived much of my life in Japan and the Far East, and looking at this classical style image from the Japanese Meiji era. Tell us what we're looking at here and why is it so dramatic and what is this image really telling us as far as the environment in the 21st century?
Well, many years ago, Bucky Fuller wanted to put domes over cities, and he came up with a concept and proposed it. We can't put domes over cities. We can't protect ourselves from the environment that's around us. We can't protect ourselves from the dangers that are out there that we're creating through our mismanagement of our planet. So this is a perfect representation. It may look like the bubble is going to survive, but it's not likely. So we need to operate differently.
Absolutely. We've got to change ourselves. Looking at this, going to this kind of comprehensive view, if you will, as far as the environment, putting us in the middle of all this, what do we have to be doing, John?
Well, number one, you need to be educated. You can pick any one of these areas to get involved in and make a difference in, but you need to be educated about what it is that's happening around you, and especially about environmental justice, especially about the fact that there's an unequal environment that we're existing in, and that there are people at the bottom of the chain that need to be supported. We need to have some kind of balance. And then, having been educated, you can pick an area that fits for you where you can make a difference. And that's what we're after with the RCATs. That's what we're after with ESRAG. We want to make a difference and have individuals feel like they have the power to do that.
Yeah, and also collaboration with Emerald Planet Television. We're going to get this story out there as far as the solutions and the best practices. And I think that's what you're talking about. And most of these, what are the best practices and renewables. What are the best
Yes.
practices in biodiversity, political action, ag, health, all these other different areas? But getting to the ESRAG and also with your RCATs, why are these so important? Now, I want to go back to my original question. Why is it so important that there's collaboration between the ESRAGs and the RCATs?
Well, we already are collaborating. The SRAG has got the big picture. They're operating through Rotary International. We're down in the clubs with RCAT and building up the contacts, the network, the people, the commitment, and the actions. Most of all, the actions. Big projects coming from SRAG, community projects coming from the RCATs, and building together so that what we can do is actually make a difference and use Rotary clubs and all of those 1.4 million Rotarians to actually commit to making a difference on the planet. If we can make a difference in polio in the last 30 years and get it down to there's only a few cases left on the planet, if Rotary can do that, we can certainly address this and make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Looking at this, climate change is happening and urgent action is required. Why is it something that we should have done yesterday? And we need to be very concerned about it today, but we just can't wait for tomorrow. So, why is this something we need to have done yesterday?
Well, I don't know what to say. We've been aware of it for the last over 50 years. Actually, in the 1890s, people identified climate change as an issue, but we haven't taken action on it. People tend to want to take action when there's a crisis, rather than when they see the projection of where things are going, where activities are going. We don't have a choice about it. If the planet gets hotter and we have more severe weather patterns and we have a flooding of major cities that's going to cost billions of dollars just to be able to address, not to be able to fix, but address, we either have to find another planet to move to, or what we need to do is find a way of changing the way in which we operate so that what we can do is allow our children and grandchildren to live at least somewhat close to the world that we have right now.
Yeah, that's absolutely important. These are some of the impacts, but we're running out of time, John. The world, the globe, Mother Earth really is in our hands. So, what do you see through the SRAG and through the RCATs, Rotary International, that we must be doing now? And give us three ideas that you think would be the most cogent out of hundreds, thousands of other ideas. What do we need to be? Three things that each of us need to be doing.
Well, number one, you need to vote. You need to look at what it is that we need to be doing, and you need to vote so that what happens is your voice is heard. You need to talk to other people in your family, in your community, and in your club about what you can do at home, something as simple as reusing plastic bags, what you can do in your community, such as working together to bring solar to people who are less fortunate, and what you can do in your business, which could be something as simple as refitting, or it could be how you use electricity on the road. If you had an electric vehicle, or if you combined your travel with other people, or you went out for one trip to do three things instead of three trips to do one thing each, all of that would make a huge difference. Start where you can. Start wherever you can.
That's absolutely fantastic. This is John C. Mathers of the SRAG and the RCATs as we create the Emerald Planet.